Hello everyone, welcome to this video explaining the simple mechanics behind Shield Maidens. First, let's take a look at the unit traits and passives. The most important ones to understand are 2 weapons and stand firm. These passive essentially explain that the Shield Maidens take less cavalry damage while they're in the default spear formation. It also explains how the unit has more defense and blocking while in spear formation, but more damage in sword formation. Keep these points in mind as they are essential to understanding how this unit works. Let's take a look at the first skill, or the number 1 skill. This skill makes the Shield Maidens take a shield wall-like formation in the desired direction. This skill also provides a 250 bonus on all defense stats to all friendly units around for 10 seconds, making it a very good unit in larger fights. The next skill, the number 2 skill, is a very simple cover commander skill similar to others we've seen in many other units. However, keep in mind that cover commander can only be triggered in spear formation. Another thing to notice is this unit is incredibly fast while in cover commander, as you can see. Now comes the number 3 skill. This skill simply switches the unit into sword mode, making skill 1 and 2 different. Skill 1 now simply becomes a standard charge in the desired direction. However, the interesting part is that triggering this charge increases the damage of all surrounding allies by 20%, again making it incredible in larger fights. The number 2 skill in sword mode is a burst or shock-like attack where the unit attacks the closest enemy unit and performs a shield bash attack. At the end of this attack, the unit ends up automatically going into cover commander, even if you did not trigger it in spear mode. The last thing to mention is the healing mechanics of this unit. There are 2 ways to heal, and both involve the unit being in sword mode. The first way is simply to charge, then switch back to spear mode. You'll see the unit glow green and their health going up, indicating that they are healing. The second way is to simply deal any damage in sword mode, then switching to spear mode. As you can see, the unit glows green again. Now to a new player that might have sounded like a whole lot of information and might have made no sense. So now I will explain how to use this unit in different situations. Firstly, I will explain the way you should use them 80% of the time. This is most likely when you are about to start a fight and you have ally units surrounding you. You want to stack the defensive buff from skill 1 in spear formation, then click cover commander and switch to sword mode. This will keep the unit in cover commander while also having the higher damage of sword mode. Now just try to support your unit as much as possible. It's not needed to use the other skills as the charge will break your cover commander. You can use the 2 skill to clean up the remaining units to overwhelm them. Let's take a look at some battles and clips to further explain the best ways to use this unit in certain situations. All fights and clips from this point onward uses the following veterancy line and doctrines. In this first fight, I noticed the enemy team had already pushed down the stairs and were overwhelming our allies on the other side. I decided I would go in support. First, I stacked the defense buff, then noticed since my unit is fast enough, I just ignore the single unit of Spartans trying to aggressively push into me and just go on the main blob to support my team. From then onward, I'm just in sword mode and supporting the unit with my hero as much as possible. My unit is low, but it was a good trade, and at that point I could have went back to heal, but got too greedy and wanted an even bigger unit advantage for the team. In this next clip, I was a bit late to the fight. I quickly stack the defense buff quite far from the fight as I'm not sure what's really in front of me once I go beyond the gate. I start to go towards my team to support them, and luckily an enemy crow just misses me. Enemy heroes do a good job at CCing and damaging, so I had to play a bit passive until I could fully go in with my unit. But even without support from me, the unit was still holding out very well. Once I managed to heal up and fully support the unit, we steamroll the enemy. You can see that I'm trying to chase the enemy as fast as I can, and the unit follows really well. Their interactions work really well in cover commander, and they don't usually get stuck. At this point, the fight is really comfortable, and at this point I could switch back to spear mode to stack my defense buff, as well as slightly heal, before quickly switching back to sword mode, and finishing off the remaining units on the point swiftly. And since the unit is so incredibly fast, I can keep on chasing them down all the way to their gate, and ultimately, we win the game. One weakness to this unit is cavalry, but you might be shocked to learn that this unit actually has a strong enough block to block cavalry charges. That's why positioning matters. The whole idea is to get your entire unit to face the cav while in spear mode so that you can block the charge easily. If some of the models are facing backwards in Cover Commander, then some will block the charge but others will die. Let's take some clips to further explain how you can survive incoming enemy cav charges. In this first example, I wanted to show how you can go wrong and right at the same time. While I was on Cover Commander and most of the unit was facing the charge, some were still covering behind. If I walked further up, then I wouldn't have lost any models. I ended up losing 2, and the ones who were actually facing the charge completely blocked the charge and took 0 damage. In this other clip, I was too aggressive and pushed down with no anti-cav on a cav map. A unit of Yuan Yudao cavalry was rushing me. I didn't have time to switch to spear mode, nor was my CC immunity doctrine available. The best I could do is run towards the charge so that my unit would face them, and shockingly the unit, even while being low, blocks most of the charge. The last thing I wanted to mention is to always try to use the speed of this infantry unit to your advantage. One way I can help in showing this is how to survive trebs. Since this unit is so fast and tanky, you can tank 1 or 2 treb hits and still be fast enough to run away from them, as shown in the 2 clips. And that was all. If you watched this far, thank you. The main takeaways I wanted to show in this video is firstly, how the unit works, as some new and even veteran players don't exactly understand the skills for Shield Maidens. I wanted to highlight that the unit is very good at supporting, and that it can survive most situations pretty well. I wanted to highlight how you can use the Maiden's speed and blocking to escape sticky situations. I hope you enjoyed and learned something, and if I've missed something, please let me know in the comments. Thank you, and bye-bye.